We are going to attempt my first auto diagnostic and repair. This will be on my wife's 2005 Dodge Magnum. It's got about 120,000 miles on it, and her check engine light came on today. And this is my car I go to work in. It's a 96-mile trip one way, and I gotta leave tomorrow, so I'm hoping we can get this fixed today. It's about 3 o'clock Central Time, and the code indicates we have a problem with the EGR circuit high. So I've got a book, I've got some YouTube knowledge, I don't have any experience otherwise. We're just going to go by the book and by Scanner Daniel Premium lessons that I have learned so far, and I'll be referring back to those off camera to make sure I'm on the right track here. But if you want to see if I can fix this, come on. We'll do this together. So here's the tools that I use, guys. Voltmeter, 12-volt test light with an incandescent lamp, a couple T-pins, 8mm, 10mm, various sockets and extensions to get to the component, and a magnet just in case you drop something. I think that was it. Alright, the next thing I have to do is get into a research mode because I'm not a technician by trade. I'm just a do-it-yourself guy who's trying to learn how to repair his own cars. The book was helpful, and then of course I went on YouTube, and what I found from the book here, some possible problems. EGR position circuit shorted to the 5-volt supply, shorted to battery voltage, or the circuit is open. The sensor itself can be bad, or the powertrain control module is bad. So to further identify the circuit we have either power side circuit or a ground side. The top one is power side, and they're showing the internal voltage coming from the computer, external ground. So if you come over here to the diagram, this top part is a portion of the power control module, the PCM computer. This component is the exhaust gas recircle valve, and pin number 4 there is ground, and it goes to an external source, some different splices, but I'm calling that a power side switch circuit. But coming back over here with the PCM driver off, we should see 0 volts, and if it's a ground side switch with the PCM driver off, we should see 12 volts. And that's on the control wire, which is identified in here, schematic, as pin number 6. Right, so the first thing I wanted to identify was to make sure I had good battery voltage before we start any tests. And since this car has a battery in the back, I connected one of my leads to a battery positive post made accessible by Dodge, and I found a good ground on the engine block, and I used alligator clips so I don't have to mess with those wires again, especially on the ground side. Once you find a good ground, you want to, I think, keep using that so you have a known constant. Okay, so we're going to check that pin, but before I do, I want to make sure that my ground is working. I do that by going to battery voltage, 12.3, good battery. Pin number 6 is my control wire, and it is 0, indicating we have a power side switch circuit. So I'm not an expert at this case, I'm just going by the book. Hopefully it's right. Nothing there. The next thing we want to check is to make sure we have 5-volt reference from the powertrain control module. So I have stuck a pin in the connector. You see it sticking out there. Pink and yellow wire that the book identified that as the 5-volt reference. So if we're doing this right, we should connect there and have 5 volts. All right, we do. All right, pin 4 should be a ground, and I need to go over to ohms now and check for continuity. Get off the, I don't like the auto range. So we've got a little bit of resistance. Let's see what happens if I change the range. There you go. Basically 0 resistance. Good ground, but I also like seeing the visual with the light. See, we're checking continuity. So ground, and I should have a light. Nope, it's not true. Test light to Positive, if I have a good ground here, the light will light up. But, yeah, okay. Make sure I know what I'm doing so I don't break something, but yeah, that's a good ground. And pin 3 is called a sensor ground. So back up here to pin 3, check the voltmeter. I think it's a safer thing to do in my lack of experience. Basically in ohms there, checking resistance. And the light lights, so we have a ground. Alright, so here's where I'm at, boys. Since I really don't know what I'm doing, going off of some YouTube knowledge. I used to be a mechanic in the 70s and 80s, but a lot has changed. So I'm using what I have, the books from Dodge, and then Scanner Danner. His book is actually a lot of help in my learning process, but I'm not there yet. I'm not real comfortable going through all the test procedures that Dodge tells me to do. One part because I don't have the scanner that they reference to, and I don't know how to reference the scanner data to what I should be looking at in the voltmeter or test light. They talk about disconnecting the harness and checking for ohms. I don't really want to get into that. They also talk about reconnecting the harness and jumping some pins. Again, I'm not real comfortable with doing that at my point in the process. So I'm going to revert back to this being, I have two references from mechanics on YouTube. This is a 98% fix, just changing out the EGR valve. And I'm not going to show you that process. It's 2 bolts and 2 other bolts to hold a tube on. There's other YouTube videos out there. I hate to do that to you guys, but I tried video that and it was pretty bad. And thanks to Rock Auto. Guys, I didn't end up getting the part on Saturday before I went to work, so I ordered it through Amazon. Got this from Rock Auto. It's a genuine part from Mopar, made in the USA, and there's the part number. But that saved me $40, so it was worth the wait. I was at work anyway, so it was a big deal. All right, I use a scanner to take the code out. There is no check engine light. Let's go drive it for a little while and see if it stays out. All right, 6.8 miles. Getting back up to the garage. One more time with the key. And light goes out. Well, I'm going to call that a fix. The takeaway from all this was saved about $80, $40 on the part. It was $135 locally and $90 through Rock Auto, so Rock Auto rocks. And another approximately $40 in labor. My local mechanic charges $60 an hour, and it's probably a 0.5 job or maybe even less, but he tends to charge a full hour for small jobs like this. So conservatively, I've might have saved $40 there too, so $80 total. But really, what I gained is a lot more learning. Although it's going to take me going back to Scanner Danner's channel, revisiting chapter 3, maybe even chapter 2. I'm a little confused between drivers, switches, solenoids. I need to get that straight in my head before I do another diagnostic. But in this case, it was pretty easy. 98% of the fixes are changed out the EGR valve, and that's what happened here. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot for coming along. I hope it helped, but at least you got to hang out in the garage. So, see you next time.